Robbie G here. Been a while since my last video, so I wanted to do just a quick review of a set of LED headlamps I purchased off of Amazon. I actually bought these with a set of F16s as well as the F-S2 series from Auxbeam. Looked pretty promising. Watched a couple reviews on it. Thought I'd give them a try. Just blunt, straight, simple to the point, so that way I don't bore you guys with the long explanation. Just to hear what my answer is that I do not recommend these. I've had a bunch of issues with them, and if you want to stick around and watch, I will go through it and show you. But just overall, not really satisfied with them. To start out, they come in a box. It's just plain Jane box, nice cardboard. Pop them open. Nicely packaged. There's a little nice support manual, how to contact them, product manual, shows you what you need to do to install, if you have any warranty issues, what you need to do in order to claim that. Basically, this is the product here. These are the F-S2 series LED lamps. Looks pretty nice, pretty good construction. It's all aluminum, with the exception of the collars here. The black part is all plastic and is pinned in place by a plastic pin. The LED head here, it's got two sides to it with an extension plug here. You have actually cooling fans on the inside part here, slitted straight through so you can actually see through them, but that's how they cool the LED bulb setup. Had these installed, actually ran the F16 in my headlamp assemblies. Now they were completely sealed. You put them actually in the housing. You actually had a cover that went on the back of them. They actually worked just fine. These ones I actually use for my fog lamps, and these have an open back, so these are exposed to the weather, rain, anything that you may be running through it. And unfortunately, I had some issues. This is actually the second pair I received. The first pair was the pair that I bought off of Amazon. I sent those back along with the F16s just because I wasn't too pleased with them. I had, unfortunately, the very first time that I ran them, I had moisture. Now, I'm not really good with video editing, but I was going to show you here. Basically, I have an issue with this collar. This black collar basically adapts this bulb to an H11 setup, and as well as the seal. I don't think the seal works very well, and plus I don't think there's any sealant in between the aluminum and the actual collar. And as you can see, I have all kinds of wetness in there, and as well as moisture was all I was getting right there. You can kind of see it there. I can scroll it back up, but there's moisture inside my headlight housing, or fog lamp housing. I had to remove them, let them dry out. They were a brand new set too. I had them in for about a week before I switched over to LEDs, and I wasn't very happy with that. Sent them back. Auxbeam's representative contacted me, said, "Hey, look, we'll send you another set, but can you take off the bad review?" I said, "Well, I don't really work that way." I said, "The review is going to stand unless you can send me a product that works. But if you send me another pair and I use them and they're just fine, then obviously I'll change my review accordingly." So they sent me out this pair, put them in, and unfortunately I only ran one just to test because I didn't want to do the whole drying out both headlamp assemblies again. And unfortunately, here's a picture of the second one. It was a rainy day, so you see there's water on the outside of the house, but you have some hazing here from when the light was on and the cooling fans were playing. And again, I had to let that dry out before I could put standard bulbs back in. And again, I think it comes down to this collar here, and I don't think there's any type of sealant in between this collar and the actual aluminum housing, because this is the only thing that adapts it to the applications, whether it's an H11, H1, 9007, so on and so forth. It's all via this black collar is changed out. Now the seal too, I have a question as well, because I actually ran, before I switched over to these, a set of the Sylvania ZXE lights, and I unfortunately had one that blew out on me, but the seal is completely different. Completely different setup, which is kind of puzzling to me why they would try to reinvent the wheel here. But you have a weird seal like this, slightly different, so I don't know what the deal is. Maybe that's a problem as well, I don't know. But every single H11 bulb I've ever seen has this type of seal. It's just a single seal like this. It's not full blown and plus I can move this like no problem too, and twist that with barely minimal effort, versus this seal, which is on nice and tight. I can't twist that or turn it, so I'm thinking that just the seal is not sealed, not tight enough. Also, I had some questions too, and I can't prove that this may be an issue, but I think there may be some issues come if you are operating these in a snowy condition, salt, all that kind of stuff, that you might actually have some issues with the cooling fans afterwards. It might gum it up. I don't know how sealed this part is, where all the wiring is going through the actual housing inside here up to this. I just don't know. I don't know if it's sealed properly as well, and maybe that could be another reason why they're getting in. It's too bad. I mean, I like the lights. They're bright. Definitely brighter than stock. The only issue I had was with beam pattern, which I've heard a lot of complaints about, is that the beam pattern isn't that great. Some of the ones you can actually adjust it, where you can rotate the collar to change the beam pattern some. I don't think you can do these with this. These are just pinned with a plastic pin. So as far as that goes, it's too bad. But yeah, those are my main concerns. So, I mean, with these ones, I do not recommend them. That's 2 sets I had with the exact same issue. And I even told and forwarded that on to their customer services that I believe there's some sealing issues with this collar here that'll allow it to adapt to certain applications. I don't think they use any type of sealant in there just to prevent any water intrusion. And then again, I think this seal here is just too loose, because I'm able to rotate that with my finger with not a problem, and I don't think that should be like that either. So it's too bad. Hopefully they'll do some product improvements. I was in contact with them. We sent them a couple emails back and forth. I did tell them what my findings were, what I thought to be true, that to let me know if they found anything or if they improved anything, that I might want to try them again, that I would be willing to review them again and see if the improvements help or hurt, and so on and so forth. But as of right now, the F-S2 series I don't recommend. The F-16 series were nice, pretty much the same type of setup, but they were more or less a little bit different style on the backside here. They still had cooling fans, a little bit more compact. They actually fit inside of the housings. I didn't have any issues there, but again, the housing was completely sealed. They weren't open on the back, so I have a feeling if they were open on the back, I'd probably have the same issues. And that's unfortunate. But sorry, Auxbeam. Wish I could make this a better review, but I do want to make sure that people know. Try it at your own risk. Again, I ran them a couple times, 2 different sets, and unfortunately the result was the same. I got moisture inside the housing, and I tried one on the first initial pair to seal it up using some RTV to seal it up there, and maybe some silicone dielectric grease on the actual seal to help promote the seal, and again I still had the same issues. So that didn't help one bit, unfortunately. So, but as it stands, I don't recommend them. If you happen to watch this, they are bright. They do look really nice. It's very disappointing. I just do not like moisture in my housings. I don't believe that should be present. So thanks for watching, and again, sorry about the bad news, and hopefully Auxbeam will do some improvements and maybe make them a little bit better. I mean, for the price point, you can't beat it. If it worked better, it would have been nice. So thanks for watching.